going.
Okay.
Oh, and we are live. Welcome to the June 2nd Self-Care and Strategy for Entrepreneurs Through the Coronavirus event. I'm your host, Dr. Sabrina Starling, and I am joined here today with Stacey Seguin, who is one of our strategists on the Tap the Potential team, and she is also our Profit First lead at Tap the Potential. Stacey and I are really excited for today because we are going to talk about the power of purpose and how that plays in as we reimagine our businesses going forward, given all the changes that we're all facing because of coronavirus. And we're also going to get into a discussion around how challenge in front of us actually is an opportunity. Stacey has written two very, very good blog posts on the power of purpose and how challenge is the opportunity. And I invited her here today because I wanted to have the opportunity just to discuss these in depth and give you all the opportunity to jump in here and ask questions. We are also going to talk about victim mindset and victim mentality and how that could be it could be getting into our frame of mind without us even being aware of it. And Stacey has observed it in our coaching with some of our clients as we're taking them through dealing with changes in their business. She's been picking up on, I hear some victim mentality in that. And it's reminded me of how subtle it is and how it can creep in. So we've been very intentional about pointing it out for our clients when we see it. And so we want to share today some of the ways we've seen that creeping in for business owners so you can identify if, you're letting victim mentality creep in. So as we get started, I want to invite everyone today to start a watch party. If you are watching us, you can start a watch party from your Facebook, which will allow others who are connected to your Facebook profile to be invited in to watch this with you. That is one of the great ways that you could be supporting other entrepreneurs right now by helping them connect with some self-care and strategy for their businesses. And at Tap the Potential, we are all about leading with love and being a gift and shining bright. And so we want to reach more and more entrepreneurs during this time and give them really good self-care and strategy. So if you're watching this, we ask that you please start a watch party and be a part of that, leading with love and being a gift and helping us to shine bright to support other entrepreneurs. So Stacey, as we get in, and we're here to talk about self-care and strategy. And we're going to talk lots about strategy today, but I don't want to neglect self-care. And so you and I were talking back and forth about our weekends. And I'm really curious what those who are watching us have done this weekend to take care of themselves. What did you do for fun? Stacey, what did you do for fun this weekend?
So actually, that's a great question. This weekend was an in and out weekend. I had my daughter coming home. I had my son moving in. They're both young adults, over the age of 18. And so there was a lot of in and out and a lot of people around this weekend. Also had a friend of mine moving out. So there was a lot of activity. So we had a lot of movie time. We had a lot of moving boxes and hugs. And we settled down yesterday afternoon out at our family's lake. So we have about a 60-acre lake that we have access to. And took the dogs out there. So it was my son's dog, Charlotte, my two dogs, Dodie and Nestle, and they were all running wild. We didn't do any canoeing or kayaking. That would have been fun, but we decided not to let the dogs get that wet. So, yeah.
That is a lot of fun. Yeah. So I spent all day Saturday editing the How to Hire the Best, the Entrepreneur's Ultimate Guide to Attracting Top Performing Employees or Top Performing Team Members. Mm-hmm. And so the goal is today we are going to get the working manuscript into early readers' hands. And it was supposed to have been done Friday at the latest. And of course, I just kept thinking about more and more to be added. So I really dove in on Saturday, and I have to confess up, I'm still working on it right now. I had to stop right before the Facebook Live to come over here. But we're going to get it out into early readers' hands today. But Sunday, I took the whole day off. And I knew I needed a break to step away from that manuscript. And so we went to the lake and spent the day on the boat, got some fresh air and sunshine. It was such a gorgeous day. Sunny. It wasn't overly hot. It wasn't overly humid. And I even got in the water. The water was still a little cold.
Oh, awesome. That's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got some hand claps in our Facebook Live, and I see Carol is excited about the book and what's there. And Melissa, she headed to the mountains, which I think is awesome. Yes. So fantastic opportunity to get out and breathe some fresh air and get around out and about.
Yeah. So as we are diving in, I want to make one other quick announcement. What we're talking about today around the power of purpose is from our upcoming course, Introduction to Pumpkin Planning, that we are offering to entrepreneurs at Tap the Potential starting June 12th. So pumpkin planning is a huge opportunity for you, the business owner, to be reimagining your business. And we have offered pumpkin planning through our Better Business, Better Life program, which is a year-long commitment at Tap the Potential. And we've seen how it's just transformed one business after another. Because of coronavirus, we've decided we want to pull that part of what we offer in our Better Business, Better Life program and offer an introduction to it to make it much more widely accessible to entrepreneurs who are having to reimagine their businesses right now. So today, what we're getting into is a piece of that course that's going to start June 12th, Introduction to Pumpkin Planning. And if you want to know more about that course, you can go to my free webinar, which is running currently. You can just go to the page and get access to the webinar. It's tapthepotential.com/pumpkin webinar. And we have the link scrolling across the bottom of the screen, and I'll actually get it typed into the chat too, so that it's easy for you to find. So as we get started, Stacey? Yeah. You have repeatedly said that once you connected with your purpose, you felt fire in your belly. You feel fire in your belly when you work for your purpose.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about your story with connecting with purpose.
Oh, okay. So I started on the whole journey through Profit First to Pumpkin Plan Strategy began when my very first bookkeeping client back in June, actually it was May 31st, 2015. That was the very first client that I started with. And she recommended the Profit First book. And before I even finished the book, I was on the phone with Ron Saharian to become one because I knew that's the thing that I had been looking for the whole time. So I was a co-founder in a private investigative company eons ago, like multiple decades. And if we had had that, it would have made all the difference in the world. We wouldn't have been putting out fires and running around chasing our tails 20 years after we started. We were still operating like a startup. And I knew I had enough business experience to know that we shouldn't have the same training issues, and we shouldn't be seeing the same financial cash flow issues, and we shouldn't be repeating year after year all the things that were happening on a consistent basis. And we just didn't have it right. So I think for us in that business, it was kind of the situation like, what got you here won't get you to the next place, but we had no idea what that was going to be. So after about 6 months, 6 to 9 months with Profit First, as a certified Profit First professional working with clients, I met Donna Lyons at ProfitCon, and that was a game changer for me. So I realized that all of the experience I had before really put me in the right place to be a strategist, and that's what my life's calling was. But even at that point, I didn't know what my own personal purpose was. And then we do this exercise we're going to do it in the Pumpkin Plan Live or the Intro to Pumpkin Plan. And we do it with our clients through what's been our MVP series that we offer to our Better Business, Better Life clients. But it's an exercise where you write down 6 sentences, the 6 most important people and how you want to be remembered in their lives. And what I notice in talking, it's an extremely powerful exercise. It's a very emotional exercise. If you're doing it right, it should bring up some pretty strong emotions. And what I noticed in that is it's the first opportunity that we have as individuals, human beings, to declare what it is we want to be focusing on. And so when you look at authorities like Jack Canfield, one of the things he says that really I ignored for a long time was, if you don't know what your purpose is to find your purpose in life.
Oh.
Right. Wow. So had I been doing this back when I was 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, in my younger years, I think I would have gotten to this place a whole lot faster. But it was that exercise, and Donna was taking us through my cohort in her training program to become a strategist. And these 6 sentences really boiled down to how I wanted 2 of the most important people in my own life to remember me. And that was my mom and my daughter. And I'm going to get upset about it right now, just, because it is a core emotion for me. It's something that I have done my entire life. Like, thinking back to my being a 7th grader, my little cat Ty is going to come talk with us.
She thinks your emotion. She's like, I'm here.
I'm surrounded by animals, actually, all times of the day. Somebody just noticed that this week, that they are in my lap and around me all day long. But anyway, I digress. So what I wanted these most important people to remember from their relationship with me was the wisdom and insight that had helped them, that I gave them in conversations. And so that, realizing that I had a choice, like, this is the thing that I can focus on, that I do most naturally in every conversation with people, from, it might be a homeless person on the street, to it might be my pastor, or it might be, my business clients, friends and family. Like, people depend on me. They come to me for advice and input and perspective. These are the things that I've done my entire life, and I do it so naturally that I don't even recognize it as a thing that I do. So when Donna was taking us through this exercise, probably, I think it might have been New Year's Eve, where I was like, I know what my purpose is in life. And it was that moment that I was like, this is how I want to be remembered. But connecting it to my professional purpose here with Tap the Potential, that's when that fire in the belly started. And it was like, now I know what it is I'm supposed to be doing and how I'm going to do it, right? So the how becomes the method and the thing that I do every day. And I know I am in my ikigai, from the newest book that's out. I know I'm in my personal sweet spot when I'm connecting with people and I'm taking information and I'm helping them make decisions. That's my sweet spot. So
that is phenomenal. And your energy just, so it comes through so profoundly. Yeah. And I'm honored to have you on the Tap the Potential team and to be a part of it. And I think because I've been so immersed in how to hire the best, what's really jumping out for me is when I sat down, probably 16 years ago, and I was going through my first training as a life coach, we had to identify our purpose. Mm-hmm. And we had that same exercise of what do we want, those key people, those 6 key people in our lives to be saying about us at our funeral, or how, at the end of our life, how we've touched them and impacted them. And it's really hard to think about that. And connecting with that has made me so intentional about everything that I've done going forward, about how I've built the business, the people we've attracted at Tap the Potential. And so I think it's pretty obvious, but I'm just going to state it here in case anyone doesn't know my life purpose. That is to help other people tap their potential. Just need to make that explicitly clear. And that's what came out of doing that exercise for me. And so what I think when it comes to building team and building companies, it's so critical that we need to know our purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more than purpose. There's a few other ingredients, but today we're just focusing on purpose. But we need to know our purpose so that we attract the right people for our teams. Because when I have team members like Stacey on board, now all of a sudden our ability to connect and impact people is amplified. And it's not just 1 + 1 = 2. It's 1 + 1 = 100. Because it's an exponential amplification of the impact. And that's been something I think we've all at Tap the Potential really come to appreciate in the last year, is as we're all getting so clear on what we're doing and how we're serving our clients and helping them have better businesses and better lives, they're going out in their families and their communities and they're sharing what they learn with us, and the impact is just spreading.
Yeah. So, everybody knows the adage or the story of being on the beach and picking up one starfish and throwing it back into the water. And that's awesome if you can save one at a time. And that's what I had been doing my entire life, was providing my purpose, my life purpose, what my God-given talents to those individuals that I met on a random basis. And the amplification of being able to connect with your purpose of tapping the potential and my purpose of providing the wisdom and insight through strategy, through financial analysis, through everything that we do at Tap the Potential is really energizing and fueling, and it keeps it going. And just to connect it to another book, because we're all readers that work with you and follow you. So the one thing, and I can't remember the author, I'll get it wrong if I try to say it, but most people come to that book and they're thinking in terms of what's the big rock, what's the one thing I can do today. And I really came at it from a completely different purpose. And the thing in that book that really resonated with me is the explanation of Usain Bolt and what is his personal purpose. It is to spread the joy of running. Like, that is his ikigai. That is the thing that he does the best. And anything that allows him to share that love for running and that passion and that the physical aspect of it, the benefits of it for him. And I'm not a runner, so you'll never catch me on the field running unless I'm being chased by something. But that's the one thing. And it was at that point in time that I realized I was missing the one thing that I could do that would have a greater impact for people. It's that decision. Like, I chose this. God gave me the talents. It's up to me to recognize how to use them. And so I've been missing it. I've been using it in a small way. And actually, one of our great clients, Steve Bousquet, said to me down in the retreat, "What makes you think you're not already playing big?" I was like, "Oh, I get it now." Yeah. Yes. And I was really thinking that I had to go even bigger in order to have a huge impact. So Carol just said that exercise is so potent, and both of you are super amazing. So,
oh, thank you, Carol.
Amazing. I'm going to do it like that. Thanks, Carol. We appreciate that and love working with you too. So
yes. So, as we are talking here about connecting with purpose, when you teach this to our clients in the Better Business, Better Life program, Stacey, what do you see? What is the initial reactions to doing this? And then over time, how does it play out? And how do you see it changing their businesses and their lives?
So there's I think there's really two responses that I've seen, and we'll just put them in these two categories. The first one is, why is that even important? Right? Why do I need to know this? And how's it going to help my business? And the second one is, gee, I never thought about it. Very rarely do we come across a business owner who has been through that exercise before. Not that it's impossible that our best clients wouldn't be doing this, but that's not typical so far in doing this work over the past year. But the first example of that is, I think, a missed opportunity for people to really narrow, and focus. And that's what the pumpkin plan strategy is all about. It's not just about niching into a particular target market. It's about focusing your energy and your effort on the one thing that has the greatest impact for you, for your employees, for your business, for the community. It has much broader reach. And when you dilute that and you try to be everything for everybody, then you are leaking energy everywhere. And not to get too woo about it, but that energy and focus, your attention is diverted and sliced into little tiny pieces all along the way. And so if you can begin like Usain Bolt and other people who have done this work and narrowed their focus to this is the one thing I can do to have the biggest impact, all that other stuff disappears. It's no longer important. And you have criteria set up to make a decision as to where to focus. Because you have that purpose, which then connects to your mission, which then connects to your vision, which then you can begin to bring everybody together with you.
Yes. So it really just kind of pulls everything together. And what you said about leaking energy everywhere, when we don't have that one thing, when we're not clear on our purpose and we're not clear on our why and our vision for where we're headed. One of the things that I want to put up here is our favorite survival trap image. And just to remind folks that we want to know where we're headed, what our vision is for the future, and clarifying our purpose is part of being able to talk about our vision. We want to create a vision for ourselves where we live our purpose every day. And we want our business to reflect our purpose every day so that we can stay in full focus, moving towards the vision and not leak that energy elsewhere. Because what happens is we're confronted, and right now with coronavirus and all the changes that business owners are feeling, they're confronted with choices and decisions every single day. If these things, if your purpose, your vision, your mission, your immutable laws, if those are not clarified, we are going to make choices that when we follow them out over time, take us very far off track of where we want to go.
Yeah. And so what's coming up for me in that particular moment, Sabrina, is how often we allow other people to make decisions for us about what our priorities are when we haven't chosen it for ourselves. So you just use the word choice.
Yes.
We can make choices. And as an IPEC trained coach, we talk about energy leadership, and you lead your life by choice or by default. And most of us are walking around leading our lives by default. I was absolutely 100%. I still do, probably 75% of the time. It's not until I stop and think, okay, what are my choices here? And often talking with our clients in our small group in the Better Business, Better Life cohorts, we hear a lot of conversations about, I can't do this, and I can't do that. And my obligation is to my client, my obligation is to my employees, and we're putting everybody else's needs ahead of the one thing that allows us all to be working together. And so that gets into that mindset and that victim mentality. And I don't know if you meant to go there, but we're at the top of the hour, so why not?
Oh, we should go. Well, before we go there, let me just do a little commercial break here and pause and just pull everyone back in. And if you really are getting excited about what Stacey is sharing and how we're talking about getting clear on your vision, your mission, and your purpose and your sweet spot in your business, then I want you to know we are starting a course June 12th, not this Friday, but next Friday. And we're only taking 10 people. It's a very small course. And the reason we did this is because Stacey said, when Darren and I teach this course, we want to be able to work closely with the participants and really help them develop these aspects of their business. So this is not meant to be one of those big courses that you sign up and you come and you listen to a class and then you don't do anything with it. This is Stacey and Darren. Darren is our success team lead at Tap the Potential. These two teach this class, and they are going to get in their hands-on with you and help you develop your vision, your mission, and your purpose. So I want to go through what we're teaching. So there's going to be 8 sessions offered every Friday through early August. And session 1 is life planning and vision clarification. Session 2 is all about identifying your purpose. So we're going to go deeper into what Stacey's been talking with you about today. Session 3 is declaring your mission. Session 4 is identifying your immutable laws, which those are the seeds of the culture in your business. That is about hiring the best. It is about building your team. It is about having a great place to work. That's very powerful, what you're going to be covering in session 4. Session 5 is discovering your sweet spot of the business. And the sweet spot is that intersection of your top clients, your unique offering, and the systems that you put in place around your unique offering. When we have that sweet spot clearly identified in your business, it creates the decisions that you have to make all are made for you, because you get to choose what's in alignment with your sweet spot and then let other things go. It really simplifies your business, and it's what we find over and over allows our clients to have that better business and that better life, where they have more time for what matters and more money in their bank account than ever before. Session 6 is the top client assessment. We're going to help you identify who are your top clients so that you can design the business intentionally around them and amp up what you're doing for them. And again, it just makes business more fun because you get to work from your personal sweet spot that Stacey has been talking about. In session 7, we're going to help you develop an action plan to move your business forward now that you have this information. And then we're doing a bonus session on how to use pumpkin planning to increase your profit, because that's where we see that pumpkin plan has the biggest impact, is helping you have significantly more profit, more money in your bank account than you've ever had before. And that's where we're going to get into pricing with you. And if you've been listening to some of our Facebook Lives, we've had different conversations about the importance of pricing appropriately to get the margin that you need to be profitable. And I know right now with COVID-19, Stacey, so many business owners are looking at, well, should I be discounting? Our answer is no. And in the bonus clinic, we're going to tell you exactly why you shouldn't be doing it and what to do instead, so that you can maintain your pricing and increase your pricing with added value through pumpkin planning, so that you have more profit and you have that sustainable business. So when you leave from the Intro to Pumpkin Planning course after 8 weeks, you're going to have a foundation for a solid business strategy. You'll have clear vision, mission, purpose, and immutable laws. You will know who your top clients are and which ones you could let go of. You will know how and when to raise prices, and you will understand how to use pumpkin planning to achieve your profit targets, to design a business that supports your life. So if you want to be one of the 10 that Stacey and Darren are going to take through Intro to Pumpkin Planning, you need to get onto our webinar, which is tapthepotential.com/pumpkin webinar, 20-minute webinar where I tell you all about what's going to happen in the course and how to use pumpkin planning to help you reimagine your business. And then you'll have the opportunity to register for the course from there. And I will also give kind of a sneak peek. We have dramatically worked on the pricing to set the pricing so that you're going to get the value you need, but you don't have to join our big program to be able to take advantage of that. And we've priced it based on the challenges that COVID-19 is having for businesses. So we've really tried to strike that balance of giving you what you need and giving it to you at a level of investment that's going to be very, very doable for you. So pumpkin plan, tapthepotential.com/pumpkin webinar. Okay, Stacey, let's talk about the opportunity to reimagine, the challenges, opportunity, and victim mentality.
Yeah. So there are so many places that I could start. So where do you want to begin with the challenges, the opportunity? I mean, what I'm thinking of.
One of the things that really stands out to me is when we're struggling, when we have all these challenges in front of us, like how do I make payroll? And what what's going on with my business and what is it going to look like? And do I have the team members that I'm going to need to have? And how do I run my business so that, if I have a storefront type business and I have to deal with safety for my team and my clients and customers, all these things, it really starts to feel like there's so much impacting me right now that's out of my control. Mm-hmm. And you have a really good way, Stacey, of shifting that conversation. So that's where I want to start.
How do we shift? It's a powerful question. What you're talking about is maybe a step beyond where I was starting when I wrote that blog post, which is when the struggle is the opportunity. I think that's what you're referring to. And so there's a level of thinking that doesn't move us forward, and that's I can't because we are in this place where everyone else is making demands on us. We have these outside pressures, these things that we think we can't control. Maybe we can do something about it, but our current mindset is in that I can't do anything. I have to just keep going. And so, or I have to stop. Like, I can't do anything and I can't move forward at all. So what do you do when you recognize that you have these thoughts of something's not possible? How do you get it to transition your thinking to what is possible? And it's going from I can't to how can I? I think it's in the Gay Hendricks book that I was reading, or might have been Breaking the Rules, where that particular question really struck me. Is how can I? All right, this isn't possible. This isn't possible. This isn't possible. What is? Because you always have options and you always have choices. You just don't recognize them yet. So how can I overcome this obstacle? Everything is overcomable. And yes, we just have to find a way around it. So that question, how can I, given all of these constraints? Everything in business is a constraint. We never have enough money. We never have enough resources. We never. Right. And we're always moving the bar forward. So we're not ever at an end point. It doesn't stop. And I've done it for 20 years, and I know it doesn't stop. It gets better. It gets worse. There are always these constraints. You always have these factors. So how do you? What is possible? What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to stop doing in order to do something else?
What are you willing to stop doing to have something else? Yeah. That's a really powerful question, because that gets right to the core of, if I'm willing to stop doing running the business the way I always have, mm-hmm. in order to have a business that serves my life better, mm-hmm. that opens up possibilities.
And what? Yeah, what's next? What do you do? What is possible? Who do I know? Who can help? What resources do I have? What am I willing to exchange in order to do something different? So that mindset of what is possible, puts you in a position automatically. And I hear it in your language all the time, Sabrina. I'm not even sure, when you're thinking of fixed mindset, you're not even in fixed mindset mode. You're like a step ahead of that. So as you're trying to come up with examples for people, you're already in choice, right? Mm-hmm. I have choices. You always have choices. You can accept where you're at and stop. That's a possibility. It is a very real option. Is it the right one or the best one? I don't know.
Yeah. And I want to say something too, because I connected this weekend as I was writing, and I was talking about the power of visioning. I reconnected with where I was probably 15, 16 years ago, when I was first confronted with writing my vision and being told to claim what I want. And I was writing my vision for the next 10 years. And I remember, as I sat down to start writing, the gremlins in my head were shrieking so loud, "You can't have that. That's not possible. That's so pie in the sky, sister. It'll never happen." I mean, it was loud. And I just thought, whatever, I'm going to just write. I'm just going to write. And when I got up 3 pages later, after writing about what I wanted, I was real clear with one thought, that if I decide it's impossible, it is. I have nothing left to lose. Mm-hmm. I have everything to gain if I decide it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the beginning for me of my mindset shifting. And so, Stacey, when you say, Sabrina, when you talk about fixed mindset, you're not even in fixed mindset. This is 16 or 17 years later of continual work on my mindset and my mindset shifting.
Yeah.
And that's our opportunity that every one of us have, is to start making that shift and start looking at, well, what is possible and what do I want? And so Stacey and I are inviting you right here, right now, to start claiming what it is that you want. How do you want your business to look? What kind of business is going to give you a better business and a better life? And that's really what the Intro to Pumpkin Planning course that we're teaching June 12th is all about.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the victim mentality.
Sure.
Stacey. Okay. Where do you see victim mentality creeping in for us business owners right now?
Oh, I think the strongest place is when we're challenging our business owners to take an action step. And often this is around their top clients, right? Because to look at your top clients, first of all, there's some decisions that have to be made. How do you define them? Who are they? How do you recognize them? And when we're busy serving everyone and we're not thinking about whether or not this person is really who we want to be serving, we are in a place where we're thinking this is the necessary person I have to. And we were in a call with one of our great clients, and it was just so abundantly clear to me that this particular person was thinking, I can't even do that because I have all these obligations in front of me. And I said, who's telling you have to do that? You're the business owner. Like, who's setting your schedule for you? And it was that, oh, wait, there's a little truth in that. And it's not very comfortable for me to hear that. But there's like oh, I need to be thinking about this a little bit differently. So when you're in that pressure place and you've built your business upside down like this, and everything is coming through you, the business owner, like you're the decision maker, you're the person who sets the agenda, but you've got this opening that allows everyone around you to have access to you and make demands on your schedule because you haven't, focused. You're stuck in that place where everybody else is controlling what you are allowed to do and accomplish in your day. And so getting that top client figured out is the first place. And you can't let that stop you from moving forward because you have a capacity issue. If everyone is placing demands on your time and energy, your employees, your clients, your vendors, and it's, pay please, and when do I get my money, and are we going to be able to make payroll, and all of these questions that keep us as entrepreneurs and business owners up at night, these fears, and they're very real. Like having a tax bill come due and not having $10,000 to pay it. That's a huge problem. And we're aware of it long before it actually happens, but we allow it to creep up because we think the next thing is going to solve this, and the next thing is going to solve it, and the next thing, and that's that survival trap. We're in that survival mentality. So I hope I'm getting to your point, but this is where I see it the most. That's why we focus on top clients, because the squeaky wheels in our business, they are getting all of our attention. We're attending to them because they're popping up frequently, and they're telling us what their demands are. They're not necessarily who we want to be focusing on, and they're not who we want to be listening to. And they're who we want to attend to.
That is so important. So I just want to underscore this. So much of our time in our business, when we are not being intentional and running the business around the top clients and the sweet spot of the business, so much of our attention is going to the problems in the business, the problem clients, the problem vendors, the problem team members. And what we focus on grows. And so when we're focused on all those problems, they're just getting amplified and amplified. And so shifting the focus from what's not working, which is victim mentality, what's happening to me externally that's not going right in my world. And then we shift that to looking at what is going right. What are my wins and successes? what is working in my business? Who are my best clients? How can we as a team serve our top clients better and better? Those are powerful questions that start to shift us from that victim mentality to looking at what are the opportunities. And I want to circle and bring in Carol into the conversation here. She's been posting in the chat. She's had some great observations, and one of them is the truly willing part is the hardest, right? Yes.
So, but I want to ask Carol, like, why is that? Why is it so hard? What's behind the belief that makes it hard for us to make that switch? I'll give you a few minutes to answer that while Sabrina and I keep talking about focus and about focusing on what's going right. And that, by extension, what assets, like you started out doing a SWOT analysis with people. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are the opportunities? What are the threats, right? And so that's our opportunity. If we just focus on what are our strengths, what are our opportunities, where do we need to focus that has a positive impact? Because what you focus on and measure, and that's what gets created. That's what you start to see. It's just like driving down the road and having noticed an orange vehicle. Well, now every time there's an orange vehicle on the road, you're more attuned to it. So when you're focusing on the problems and putting out all those fires, you're getting more fires every day. And it's freaking exhausting to do that, right? And yet we are in that place every day, day in and day out. We don't have to be.
And we don't have to be, and it wears us down psychologically. So if you're in that place where you've been working 70 to 90 hours a week, which is what we see with a lot of clients coming in to Tap the Potential, they've been working crazy hours. The business is on their shoulders. They're running it upside down because everything's filtering to them. Mm-hmm. It is very hard to come to terms with, I am at choice. I can be willing. Carol is coming into the conversation, and she says, we tell ourselves stories. And that's exactly right. We have a storyline going about our business, about our team, and we are living that storyline out. When we connect with our vision and we write our vision of how we want that business to be, then we're creating a new storyline that we're going to live by, and that we're going to assess and evaluate all of our choices around. So we get to choose a new story. For me, the hardest point is accepting when I am at choice, because there's a lot of reinforcement for being a victim. When I can cry about how much revenue we lost at Tap the Potential because COVID-19 hit at our busiest season, I'm a victim. And you know what? And people come around and they're like, yeah, that sucks, man. That was so hard.
So it's that we get empathy for being in that place. And fine, if we choose to be there, but let's put a time limit on it. Like, there's nothing wrong. I'm not judging victim energy. I mean, sometimes it is reality. Bad things happen. This is the truth of the situation we're in. Maybe it's 40% revenue loss. Maybe it's only 15. Maybe you were expecting a complete shutdown and your business was going to get wiped out. Whatever the situation is, okay, let's give ourselves time to acknowledge and experience what we're in at the moment, but we don't stay there, right? We don't have to stay there. We have an opportunity to transition our thinking into what are our options? What are the possibilities? Mm-hmm. What changes do I need to make? Asking curious questions. What's the truth of this situation, and what is the story that I'm telling myself about the truth? If I'm telling myself that my brand is going to suffer if I don't work 80 to 90 hours and I don't fix all the problems, I can't let my clients down, I can't let my staff down, I accept that responsibility, and I accept that this is the sacrifice as a business owner that I have to make. Well, how long are you willing to do that? How long is that sustainable? Might be true in the moment, but is it a long-term plan?
Yeah.
I hope not. I really hope not, because that's the business that I had participated in before. I wouldn't necessarily say I agreed with that being the philosophy, but it was definitely a gargantuan attempt to change the mentality and not accept that as status quo. Did I know that we had obligations? Absolutely. But we didn't have to accept that the business took over our entire lives, and every decision was from that place of being stuck and not having choices. You have a choice as to how long you sit there.
Yeah.
We were just talking about this with one of our newest Better Business, Better Life clients, and the power of recognizing that if I want to commiserate for 24 hours and eat ice cream and say, I feel miserable and this is bad, I get to choose that. Okay?
Right.
I don't have to stay there. Right?
Yes.
It doesn't have to be 7 days a week, every month, day in, day out, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I can limit how long I sit there. So there's a reality and a non-judgment that this is a bad place to be. It's not a bad place.
I also think there's so much power in being surrounded by other entrepreneurs who think from a growth mindset, and that mindset of looking for the opportunities, because our Better Business, Better Life clients will not allow other clients to sit in the victim mode for very long. We are all good for commiserating, and we understand. I think that's the cool thing about being in a group with other entrepreneurs is there's a lot of understanding, and you're only going to get to cry about it for so long, and then you're going to be confronted with, well, what are you going to do about it? What's the choice you're going to make? What are you going to do going forward? And that is, I think if you've been listening to Stacey, she has been throwing out one powerful question after another. She's awesome at that. And that's what you're going to be experiencing in the Introduction to Pumpkin Planning course, she's going to be asking those powerful questions that get you thinking about what is your vision, what is your mission, what is your purpose, how are you going to design your future with your business, and taking into account your life vision and building a business plan that supports that life vision. That ultimately is what the Introduction to Pumpkin Planning course is about, is just getting that foundation in place. So as we're going out, I want to remind people the course is starting June 12th, not this Friday, but next Friday. It's going to run for 8 weeks. And if you are taking vacation, which I hope you're getting to take some time off, no worries. The sessions will be recorded. So if you miss one, you can quickly catch up. We are only going to allow 10 people in. So this is really a small course, and it's your opportunity. If you want a lot of individualized attention and support around reimagining your business, you're going to get it in this course. Stacey, is there anything else important that I haven't hit that you want to say about the course?
I just want to shout out Natalie, because she says she generally gives herself 24 hours to feel sorry for herself before having to pull it together and figure out what to do. So great job limiting it. And I can tell you that you're a person that has resilience. So congratulations on setting some boundaries and limits, and having confidence in yourself that you can resolve whatever comes up for you. I think that's awesome. Also wanted to shout out Andy, because he popped in and said hello. So we didn't get to say hi to him. And I'm sure there are other things that I can't see that are going on, but I just wanted to shout those things out. This is workshop style, and that I love about what we're getting ready to do, because we want you to have focused time to actually not just do the thinking and have discussion around it, but share what you're coming up with, share your immutable laws, share your purpose, share what's coming up for you. Where do you recognize you have joy in your life? Where do you light up? Getting to that. Having the opportunity to do this as a group might be intimidating for people, but it's actually that group and that feedback. If we have the right people coming into this, and I'm 100% certain we will, you're in a great cohort of people that is going to be supportive, that's going to listen, that's going to see things that you don't see, that's going to recognize the efforts that you can't recognize in yourself. It's going to recognize when you've got the gremlins screaming at you, telling you it's not possible, and who do you think you are to even want that, right? So your idea is to take over the world in your industry, and you've got a voice inside that says, why is that necessary? Well, aligning it, let's be sure that it's aligned, and it is true that this is what your true heart's desire is, and not just ego, right? You have a group of people to help you check that.
Yeah. And so one of the things that we really are good at Tap the Potential is creating a safe, supported environment for you to go deep and do the deep work to develop yourself as a leader in your business. And this work that you'll be doing here is about developing yourself as a leader so that you can become the leader that you need to be to have that business that gives you your life back. So if you're listening to this and that sounds like, boy, that's exactly what I've been looking for, is where can I really do the deeper work? I want to let you know, Stacey and Darren are phenomenal at creating that environment that allows our clients to do that deeper level work and connect with each other. So the Introduction to Pumpkin Planning course starts Friday, June 12th. You can learn about it and learn how to register by going to the webinar about it, which is a free webinar, 20 minutes, at tapthepotential.com/pumpkin webinar. I'm sending you to a webinar to watch that first before we let you register, because I want you to really know what you're getting into and make sure that it is a right, good investment for you and a good commitment of your time and energy, because that's what we're looking for, is those right people who are really going to add value for the others who are also participating in the course with you. Yeah. So I so appreciate the discussion, Stacey, that you and I have had, and the interaction that we've had going in the chat. In the last Facebook Lives, we've had some phenomenal comments and questions coming in from our viewers, and that makes it such a rich experience. And I also want to shout out those of you who started a watch party and shared this. If you didn't start a watch party and you're thinking, oh, shoot, I should have done that, you can share this Facebook Live from your personal page, and that will also have a similar effect of allowing other people to experience this. So thanks, everyone, and thank you, Stacey, for a wonderful discussion today.
Yay! I am really looking forward to taking this journey with you guys. So thanks for being here.